I was looking for a story of a famous writer coming back and nostalgically revisiting his beloved hometown. And I explained to him that, we were going to go back and visit some of the scenes of his childhood that he wrote about. And he said, "Why are we going there? That's the asshole of the world." And this was very disillusioning to me, because I had imagined more of sort of where he would have this real fondness for his town. He seemed to have none at all. Because he did, like I said, he did occasionally, he would drop down and say, "Well, I love these people, I love this town." And then he would go into all the things he didn't like about it, all the things he didn't like about the people, all the ways he didn't respect them, that he couldn't have left that town fast enough. He kept telling me or reminding me that none of the stuff that he wrote was true. And so I would say, "Well, what about the prom, or Wanda Hickey's Night of Golden Memories? Tell me about the real story behind that." He goes, "I made that all up." He talked about how famous he was in New York, and how when he would walk down the sidewalk in New York and he would draw a crowd, and he was clearly trying to impress me. I was a very young reporter at the time, and I was very impressed to be around him. I mean, he was at the time, he was 60, 61 years old, something like that. He was a legend. I mean, I like I said, I had been reading him since junior high. I loved his work. I basically wanted to write like that. And the entire afternoon was this sort of scales falling from my eyes that Gene Shepard clearly had become this New York swell. He's dropping names, Norman Mailer, and trying to sort of impress upon me what a bon vivant he was in Manhattan, and really wasn't interested at all in this idea of reliving Hammond, which he then said that the place still smells like tennis shoes, he said. And at the end, I felt like he was purely exploiting this town, and was, he was a fiction writer, but that any image that you might have had of him was false. That he was a phony in that way. So it was a tough story to write, but that's exactly how I wrote it. Which was, this is like when we learned that Robert Frost was really a mean old man instead of this sweet, gentle guy who was all about nature. We learned that Gene Shepard was really a guy who couldn't get out of Hammond fast enough.